What's up, everybody? How we doing? I got a good friend, Carly. She's been out in a few investigations with us in the Warparty team. She has a podcast with her good friend, Tara. And so I was trying to think, like, what can I do? What can I rack in my brain? And I never told the story of my first investigation. That was quite some time ago, probably about 8 years ago. And so without further ado, I'll let them tell my story as they did on their podcast, the Haunted Housewives Podcast. You want to make sure you check them out. They got some really great content. They're funny. They're awesome. And they know their stuff. So without further ado, I'll let them tell my story of my first investigation.
Our next story comes from Mike, who can be found on Instagram at Florida. It's FLA_paranormal_researcher. He also has a YouTube under the same name, and he is a member of Warparty Paranormal, which I've gone investigating with a few different times. Super fun group. My name is Michael Del Coro. I am a paranormal investigator with a large paranormal research team located in Southern Florida, Warparty Paranormal. Tonight, I want to discuss one of my very first investigations. This particular event happened about 8 years ago, before I was ever involved with a team. It all started when a good friend of mine's wife had one of our friends over, and after a few drinks, she started telling us that she thought her apartment might be haunted. This sparked my interest. It would spark mine too. Just saying, nothing like a good haunting. After about a month passed by, and with reports of her dog staring off and barking at what seemed to be nothing, hearing voices, cold spots, and even some of her belongings getting knocked over or moved. And just so happened that she was going out of town to visit family and giving the task of watching after and feeding her dog to my good buddy's wife. We figured this would be a great opportunity to investigate the apartment. With permission from the owner, we headed over to the apartment. Mind you, this is the second day of the no one staying in the residence other than a small Shih Tzu terrier, and the only person to have the keys are the resident that was out of town and us. Prior to our visit, the only other person to enter was my friend's wife to feed and walk the dog. She did not report anything out of the ordinary. We arrived on the location. I've never been to this particular small, old Florida-style apartment complex before. Her unit was located on the first floor of this slightly rundown, low-lit, 3-story building. As we approached the residence at approximately 6:30 p.m., it was oddly quiet. I can feel an excited yet slightly nervous feeling. My friend checked the door and it's locked. He shuffles for the keys and unlocks the door. We enter. It's dark. We both feel around nearby the walls for a light switch. Peanut, the dog, is now jumping in excitement and happy to see us. Peanut.
Oh, Peanut.
Peanut. Oh, little Peanut. I bet he likes peanut butter. Does he want some peanut butter? Because he's a very good boy. He's a very good boy. He's a very good boy. My buddy pops on the light switch and we look around. We're just about to take the dog outside to do its thing when we both notice the sound of running water coming from down the hall. Confused, we both made our way toward the sound. I'm excited about this. I don't know. We reached the bathroom.
Things are heating up already.
Things are heating up. Things are getting spicy.
So spicy.
Ghost spice. Ghost spice. Hi, hello. Would you like to take a bath with me?
Oh, hey girl, hey.
Hey, lady. This would scare the shit out of me though, because of the bathroom lady. Confused, we both make our way towards the sound. We reach the bathroom door and it is securely shut. Being concerned that someone might be in there, I shout out, "Hello, is anyone there?" Nothing but the sound of running water. I grab the doorknob and slowly twist. I forcefully swing the door open and I see the bathroom sink full of items, and not one, but both the hot and cold water open to the maximum limit. What the heck? What the heck?
Naughty little ghost children.
Naughty little ghosties. What are you doing? We are both shocked. I turn the water off and start to inspect what was in the sink. It was numerous bottles of women's beauty products. hand soap, basically anything that was left on the bathroom countertop. Not one item remained on the counter. It looked as if someone swept all of the stuff into the sink and turned on the water. At first I thought maybe the dog, but then I remembered the door was closed and there was no way the dog could possibly jump high enough to get on top of the counter.
The little doggy.
It's a little doggy. It could have climbed on the toilet and then onto the counter, but the door was closed. So how did it get out and close the door behind it? Last time I checked, dogs can't pull doorknobs closed. So,
right.
After turning off the water, we started.
That's a good observation, Carly.
Science.
You'd make a great detective. Dogs can't close doors. Case closed.
Dogs can't close doors. Dogs can't. This is like the wet bandits in Home Alone, just turning on all everywhere. After turning off the water, we started towards her bedroom. The door was closed tight. I reached out and tried to turn the knob, but it was locked. Yep, locked from the inside. That would mean a real fucking person to me. That's when you run.
Exit
That's
the
when
house.
you run.
Because
there might have been a real person. Why?
Nope.
They were trying to wet bandit rob her, and then they ran into her room, closed the door, and fucking locked it so they can hide in there. Run.
Did you ever, this is a sidebar, but did you ever see the video about the person who was living in another person's house? They had broken in and they were hiding like in an attic or something like that. And they would come out at night and like eat the food and like wander around, and nobody knew for like months. It was like 3 months that this person was hiding in the house. It scared the shit. I was like, holy fuck, how do you not know? Oh my God, that would scare the fucking hell out of me.
Listen, same. It would scare the shit out of me. And I've seen and heard several stories like that. And I'm like, how is this such a common thing that, those stories scare me every fucking time.
Everything. I'm like, what was that?
Same, and I'm paranoid as fuck. So like I would find the person living in the walls. Maybe leave my walls alone.
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Okay, so the door is locked from the inside with no key lock, just a pinhole on the outside with a simple twist lock on the interior. My first thought was, maybe the owner locked it, but why? So my buddy and I were extremely confused and shocked. I looked at him and he's now calling the resident. She answers and I hear him ask, "Did you by any chance lock the bedroom door?" They talk for a few minutes and he ends the call. He looks at me with a concerned look on his face. He stated, "She said no. How would I get back in?" Knowing the pinhole in the front is a safety precaution designed to unlock the door from outside in case of an emergency, she gave us permission to enter. We found something to stick in the door and in the doorknob and unlock it. I shouted, "Hello, is anyone here?" Knowing damn well it's just us and the dog. I slowly opened the door. Scared the shit out of me. I was reading. My eyes were faster than my brain. I slowly opened the door and we both hear what sounded like a male grunt and a deep voice sounded like it said, "Go."
He was kidding. You interrupt whoever it was taking a ghost dumps.
Taking ghost dumps in the bedroom. They're not even in the bathroom anymore. They're in the bedroom now.
Well, maybe there was a remodel.
Shit on the bed. Maybe
there was a remodel in his day.
Maybe. At this point, we flipped on the light switches and no one. I could feel chills roll down my spine. We look around and it's just some women's clothes on the floor and an unmade bed. We head back to the living room and sit on the couch. We were in disbelief of what we saw and heard. Just then, I remembered something and I pulled out an EMF meter from my pocket. That's an electromagnetic field detector. This was an old school simple device. It had 3 lights, green indicating good, yellow indicating moderate, and red to indicate danger. There is a theory that entities, spirits, and the supernatural emit energy. I placed the EMF reader on the glass coffee table and removed any items off the table, and we turn off our mobile phones to avoid a false reading. In a stern voice, I say, "If you are still here, come over and touch this device." We sit with our eyes fixed on the meter. Nothing. My friend shouts out, "Come on, we know you're here." Again, we focused on the device sitting on the empty coffee table. The light briefly flickers from green to yellow. Maybe nothing. Now, in a frustrated tone, I say, "Okay, well, guess there's nothing then." And from the corner of my eye, I see it spike to red. And holding for about 6 seconds, That's actually a pretty long time to hold. I've seen these on ghost hunts, and that is a long time to stay on red. 6 seconds. And now I say, can you do that again? Sure enough, it does. At this point, the dog is freaking out, more than likely to go out and relieve itself. So we take the dog out to do its business, and we smoke a cigarette and discuss what we just witnessed in disbelief. A few minutes goes by, and we let the dog in. We stay out front chatting for a few. Okay, we are getting ready to head out. Let's check on the dog and roll. We go back inside, and what do we see? It's Peanut. And he's standing on top of the kitchen counter, frozen with a bewildered look on his face. No way, no possible way this small, awkward dog, I need to see a picture of Peanut now. Is he awkward? I'm imagining it. And in my head, he looks just like a hot fucking mess, just there, all confused, all shell-shocked. How did I get up here? Poor Peanut.
I just flew. I'm super dog.
I just flew. No possible way that the small, awkward dog could jump up on a 3-foot granite countertop. We pick the small dog up and lower him back to the floor and leave. On our way home, we once again call the owner and ask if Peanut has ever jumped on top of the counter. Her response was, no, I don't think he could, even if he wanted to. Why? Shortly after her turn, she moved from the apartment and has not experienced anything paranormal or Peanut acting as he did in that apartment again. We tried to do some research if anyone had died in that apartment, but we never did find an answer. It still blows my mind to this day. Florida is a state that they do not have to tell you if someone died in there, by the way. So
I think there's a lot of states like that.
I think so too. I liked that story. Poor Peanut.
Me too. Poor Peanut. Poor little baby.
In my mind, he has a snaggle tooth and is in need of a groom. Why? I don't know. That's just how he looks in my mind. This poor awkward dog.
Chihuahua?
It was a Shih Tzu mix, so he probably did have a snaggle tooth and needed to be groomed.
Yeah, tongue hanging out the side, just all kinds of shit going on.
Oh, I like that one. Ghosty. Do you want to read our next one?
Okay, so that's going to wrap it up on the story that I submitted. There was a lot of other people that submitted some stories, some really entertaining, some cool stuff. So you're going to want to check out their podcast. And I think actually a couple of my other team members submitted some stories. Joe, Eric. All their links are down in the description. And then I'm going to put up a link right here to the Haunted Housewives. And if you check the link that I put in my description, it'll link you to their Instagram accounts and everything. So make sure you check them out. I appreciate it. Thank you.